So a couple of years ago in mid-July, me and my cousin went down to a small western-style town in my state. For context, I have a very large family, so large in fact that our family owns a cabin in the state that we live in, and we use a spreadsheet to determine who gets to stay there and when. Since it was our turn to stay this time, we took a road trip down and ended up spending a couple of days exploring a nearby town. The road trip was fucking insane. My cousin went straight through a bunch of traffic cones at one point. Low-key, we were worried that he damaged his car for a minute, but that's a story for another time. After that was over, there didn't seem to be too much to do in the town, so we had to spice things up ourselves, took things into our own hands. We found a small restaurant with a mini golf place down below it. It was set up a little weird, so the mini golf area was down a flight of stairs, but you could still see up to the restaurant. Like, there was no ceiling or anything, it was just a big ol' open area encased by rock walls. We played a couple rounds normally before we realized that we could just start hitting the ball hard as fuck and it would fly around, bouncing off the rock walls until it landed in one of the hole sections. Once it landed, we would just play from where it landed, and we started messing around that way for a while. Eventually, though, it just evolved into us hitting the ball as hard as possible and seeing how much it'd bounce around before landing. There was a couple of other people there, so we did almost end up hitting a kid like twice, but we didn't actually hit him, so it was all fine. Eventually, though, we did hit it way too hard and ended up flying out into the restaurant area after bouncing off a rock. I'm still not exactly sure where it landed, but I definitely heard it hit something metal, and then somebody just went, "What the fuck?" I don't think they knew exactly what happened at first, but I glance up there, figuring we were in the clear, and there's just a woman staring at me from the restaurant area, just making perfect, unflinching eye contact with me. Yeah, this seems fine, so I'll just keep going. We got kicked out. As soon as I hit the ball again, the woman immediately told somebody and we were asked to leave. We weren't like banned or anything, they just had us leave and we came back a couple of days later. In the meantime, we went shooting and attempted to climb the hill. Now, the hill is this massive, steep, rocky slope that was probably 5 or 6 stories tall and was almost entirely loose rocks. Initially, it seems pretty much impossible to climb, but this wasn't our first rodeo. We've been here before. There are 3 stages to climbing this hill. First stage is the run. The first part of the hill is basically just loose rocks that are very compact. It's basically like a bunch of really fine ground sand almost. The only real way to get up this part is just to sprint up until you reach rocks you can actually grab. Once you get up to that point, you moved on to stage 2. Stage 2 is also mostly loose rocks, but that has a few solid ones you can find if you feel around enough. Now, the issue is, right as you're entering stage 2, there's a 4-foot ledge, like, immediately there. So if you climb up this ledge and keep going, you do risk the fact that if you start sliding on this part and you fall down that ledge, it is going to fucking hurt like shit. Like I said, there's still a large amount of loose rock in this area, but typically by swiping your hands to the side, you can find a rock that can be gripped. Stage 3, however, is the plants. In this area, there's a lot of sticker bushes and very prickly plants, some of which can be grabbed in the right areas to use as leverage, but typically you want to avoid them because if you accidentally grab these stickers, good god, your hands are fucked. They make great footholds though, so as you continue to climb, you can place your feet on them all the way up until you get up to the top. Now, once you get up there, it's pretty relaxing, but not necessarily worth it, but we do it anyways every time. We relaxed for about 15 minutes before we headed back down. My cousin ended up sliding about a quarter of the way down. It was pretty hilarious. I'm not sure exactly what caused him to lose his grip, but I'm just glad that he didn't take any actual damage from it other than some minor scratches. There's no particular reason we climb this every time. It's more or less just a way to test natural selection and see if we still get to live another year. After a couple of days doing that type of shit, we immediately went back to the town. There's a few wild stores in that town, by the way. There's a whole ass crematorium there. We never saw anybody go in it, but it was open the whole time. There's also about 5 gun shops, which, that's pretty dope. And a building called the Town's Market that was actually a fucking government office. It wasn't even a market, they didn't sell anything. This was just like a chamber of commerce or something. Eventually, we did end up just going back and screwing around in the mini golf area again. We didn't get kicked out this time. However, we did hear a woman arguing with the staff over a mediocre ice cream, which was insane to me. This person was talking about how the serving size isn't big enough for what I'm paying. Can't you just put some more on? Naturally, we walked up to the top of the stairs to see an absolute calorie crusader with an already huge fucking ice cream cone asking for more. Like, damn, that is literally the most ice cream I've ever seen on a cone. How the fuck are you gonna say it's not enough? The ice cream's like $3 a scoop. Anyways, they ended up tacking a bit more on, and she just rolled her way out of there. At that point, we just decided to call it a day and go shooting again. But if you did like the video, let me know what you want to see next. I'm going to put some options up on the screen for you here, and whichever ones you ask for will get animated first. Anyways, subscribe. Peace.